Hello and welcome to Stage 4 of the Singapore Grand Prix at Marina Bay Circuit. So in this particular race, we have an average speed requirement and it's higher than the last one we saw, and we're starting in first place. So that adds some challenges. I did a few tests on this one. I would have loved to have come in last place, but if you play around that much, you're going to run into trouble. So I'm going to do something that will make some people a little bit upset. I'm just going to go slicing through all these corners, and then I'm going to turn around and try to not have a head-on collision and go back here to build up some more average speed. You can't just stop, but all those guys are passing me, so that's dropping me in the field. This is all about bot management. Now I got to be really careful here, right? You know that. I don't want to have a head-on collision here, and I'm actually going to carefully turn around. Nothing too crazy. Hey, I might get a little bit of a push from that guy. No, because they always brake for corner 22. Those silly bots. I mean, you don't need to brake for corner 22. You could lift a little bit, but you don't need to brake. So I'm still cutting that just to hold a little more average speed, because this is challenging. Like, if I just go for it, yeah, I don't have a problem at all. But then I was finishing with a gargantuan lead, and there's rules in bot slowing and bot management, and if you finish with a gargantuan lead in position 1, you can expect things to get harder. That's how it's programmed to work. So I am fighting against that. Now, I nicked that wall, but I really can't afford much of that, because the latter part of this track gets a little bit slow. As I'm nearing to Anderson Bridge, thank you so much, guys. Several people let me know this is called Anderson Bridge. Apparently it's 110 years old, which makes me feel bad for hitting the walls in a prior race, even though I just did it digitally. So anyhow, Anderson Bridge makes you slow down a lot, and then hitting a wall like that is not good. And then this section here is slows us down a little bit. Really not too much. The main problem is this bot's in my way. So I'll see if I can set up an overtake right here. Nope, too far back. Oh, groan. This is just not working for me. Well, I'll have to do an overtake on the straight here. Or I'll just dump them there. Okay, so I'm a little bit concerned because I had a sloppy first lap. So I'm going to have to drive this pretty fast. Slicey, slicety, slicety, slice. Okay, still over 200. Got to build up. This is another nice speed run here. A little bit of a braking, and then on the throttle. Could have gotten closer to the wall. Means I could have gotten in the gas sooner. But, it's looking close, And so you just got to know how you can carry speed through these corners. Like, this corner has been giving me trouble, and still is, obviously. The huge thing about Singapore is there's all these blind corners. So until you really know the track, it's very hard to carry a lot of speeds, because it's just blind corner after blind corner, so you have to know what's actually around that corner. Ah, there we go. Just a slight, looks like I might have just slightly nicked the wall, but not enough to hurt me. However, 204, boy, this is a little bit dicey here. I'm not going to have a lot of extra speed banked, that'll be for sure. I don't want to mess around with him very much. I have no idea what position I'm in. I'll tell you, I really hate it when I don't know what position I'm in. I don't know why I can't know that, why that can't be displayed. It's very unusual that in stage 4 you still don't get to see what position you're in. I really don't like that. What place did I finish in? 7th. Hey, I'm good with that. That's decent for bot management. And let's see what my lap times were like. I'm just curious. So Hamilton's doing a 136. I'm about 126. Maybe I could have gone back and forth at that start-finish straight a couple more times, but a little bit risky there. Let's get on with this. This one, I was a little concerned at first because of the speed requirement, but that concern goes away pretty quickly. So there's 2 sections at this track that you can hit that speed fairly easily. Maybe not in all cars, but, well, yeah, like, the thing about the Mercedes, in this game, the Mercedes is listed as having the lowest top speed. However, it can sometimes go faster than a lot of other cars on short to medium straights. And it's all about maximizing what it does have. So yes, I know I'm driving the Red Bull, but I'm talking about the Mercedes. It has such good grip, brakes, and acceleration. So if you know how to optimize your corners, it means you are exiting the corner with more speed than any other car of the 2020 season. So that means that you're starting the straight with an advantage. And it's only at the end of a really long straight that Mercedes is going to start to get into trouble, such as at Abu Dhabi or at Spa. There's just a few places where it could start to get into trouble compared to other cars. But then you've got more corners that it's going to do incredible at. But nonetheless, the car that the people had most trouble with at Yas Marina Speed Snap is the Mercedes. So that can't be totally ignored. Anyhow, there you can see I've already hit speed twice. The section I just hit it in is a little more difficult. That's a lot easier to hit it on that start-finish straight because it's such a long time to build up speed. However, I don't think it's so long that you could brake and hit it a second time on the straight. Maybe you could. Oh, he's tangling with me in a strange spot. But here I've got a whole nother lap to go, so really nothing to be worried about. I was contemplating this section if I drove right into the wall. I don't want to because I don't need to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would have. I was just hitting 260 there, 260 something, so I don't really think that would have been possible there. Again, I've got no tuning, no driver level, no principal. This is a base car, so that's important to note. If I didn't mention that yet, this is a base car. And my normal setup is tilt B controls, sensitivity 2, and all of my assists are off. So let's see here, 289.4. Yeah, I'm hitting it pretty close to when I need to get onto the brakes at any rate. So I really don't think you're going to hit it twice on that section. And oh, if you set it up where you've got a car to draft off, I don't think I'm going to catch him, but we'll see. Set this up. Oh yeah, so here, if you had to, you could take this right to the wall and crash into the wall. Time requirement isn't a huge deal here. I don't think it is. I overdrove that a little bit just because I was sitting there watching my speed. 57 seconds left at this point. Not much of an issue. I can take it a little bit easy. Don't want to get tangled up in that bot. Want to finish further back in the field if I can to maintain bot management. And we're getting on to Anderson Bridge. Zoom, zoom, zoom. By the way, I don't know if you watched my lap that has the tips on braking points and acceleration points. There is some amazing blimp footage at this track. I wish we could choose blimp cam whenever we wanted to, but you actually see the car going under the grandstands. So cool. I love it. Which is happening right here. This is where, once I turn left here, I'm going under the grandstands. If you look up, you can see it. Okay, so it looks like I'm getting really close, but it's not bad. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I might even have a little bit of fun here yet. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted to do for fun, but I had time left, so not a really difficult stage. Again, with zero tuning, you can tell that by my PR. All right. Okay, 10,000 meters of drafting. So, does that mean we have 2 full laps? No, not at all. Let's see, where are we? We're about a third of a way into a lap. So here you go. Here's the proof in the pudding of what I've been saying so many times, is that the drafting counter is permanently broken. We just have to drive 10,000 Roman cubits. Or 17.48 inches, 44.444 centimeters. Again, you're getting credited 2.5 meters for every meter that you travel. So, don't sweat it, but you do need to stay pretty hooked up to this guy. So, and we're back on the field, so that means that you're having to brake even more aggressively than you normally would. And remember, you can't get overtaken. So don't be bumping this guy a lot, because it's going to send him flying off into the corners, and then the guy behind you is going to catch up, and you're going to end up in a dicey situation. So you don't have to stay behind this guy like I am, I don't think. I think it's a cumulative drafting counter. Oops, I tagged him a bit too much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to just keep adding up if I went to the next car in front of me, but I don't want to. I'd rather finish behind this guy. So here you can see, I definitely have not traveled the whole lap, and I'm well past a full lap's distance. Boom, there's the line. So I had 6,000 meters of drafting, basically. It's a 5,067 meter track, and I didn't do a full lap, so yeah. Don't worry about it much. As long as you stay hooked up, especially for these longer sections where it's easy to stay hooked up, just don't, they really overbrake for that corner, my goodness. No trouble here, getting all of that time in. No time requirement for this one, which is kind of nice. But you can't sit there letting people pass you because you will fail instantly. Apparently, I didn't actually test that. I believe them though. Oh, tagged that wall a little bit, but there we go, right about there. So, little more than one lap that I traveled, and I wasn't hooked up the whole time. Now I just coast. Well, not coasting, but you know what I'm saying here. Now I can just take it easy. Nothing really to worry about. Yeah. I actually prefer the night race here because it's a lot easier for me to see my braking markers. I heard from a couple of people that they found the lighting was really bad at some sections of the track. I'm not finding that, so I don't know if that's just on certain devices. Although I do have my screen brightness pretty cranked up, which of course is going to hurt my battery life, but I'm not worried about that. I just want to have a nice racing experience, so I really like the night track here. And there we go, pit maneuver. So nasty. Oh well. Once in a while I do stuff like that. Sometimes it's pent-up frustration, sometimes it's boredom, sometimes I don't know. It just is. So in this one, we have a problem with engine temperature. Now, something you can do as a trick in some of these stages, engine temperature stages, is just drive backwards for part of the race. For some reason, when you drive backwards, it does not contribute to your engine temperature whatsoever. It will actually fall. However, the time restriction on this race is going to cause a problem there. So there's two ways you can help yourself here. One way is to draft whenever you can, but you're not going to get enough of that. So the other thing is, if you know the proper braking points, get off the throttle a little ways before them and do a lot of coasting. So see that? I'm coasting. Didn't even use the brakes. Here, let's see here. No, I got away with it. I'm used to preloading my brakes, so you'll notice that it's on. Here I definitely have to brake. Get him out of my way. Come on, give him a little hit here. There we go, that'll make him get onto the brakes. Little tap on those brakes that time. Here, I'm not on them at all. Now, for this braking point, I'm gonna have to be, or I'd have to really be out of the gas early. Really don't want to be hitting the walls very much, because when you hit a wall, you're basically staying full throttle until you get off that wall. So that's going to build more engine temperature. You also don't want to be losing traction and skidding or sliding because you're full throttle for those points and you're building more engine temperature. So I'm going to really be watching my engine temp and also watching my lap times. So I'm targeting about a 1 minute 30 per lap, which isn't really slowing down that much because we saw when I tested earlier in this stage 4, I was doing 126, well 125.9 when I was driving more aggressively. So with 432, you actually only get 1 minute 30 per lap. If you go back and watch the start, those first 2 seconds are wasted as I'm approaching the start-finish line. So just so you know, that's what you need to be targeting. And I'm already getting a little bit more engine temperature than what I meant to. So I'll back up my lifting points a little bit, but you can't back it up too far. So one thing this could be doing to people, like, well, obviously, if you've got a faster car, it should be helping you. I'm pretty sure that's the way they have this. I'm not really sure how the engine temperature is calculated. So what I mean is, let's say I'm on the throttle for exactly 4 seconds at my current tuning, and 4 seconds of throttle will build up an exact amount of engine temperature regardless of tuning. So in real world, that doesn't make sense. You know, if my acceleration rate is higher, I'm obviously going to be building more temperature. Same with speed, because the faster you go, the more horsepower and energy you're using to go faster from that point. Like, I remember seeing something about the Bugatti Veyron where the amount of horsepower that was required to go additional speed after a certain point is just shocking, and the amount of temperature it creates, and so on and so on and so on. So anyways, I'm on my last lap. I'm doing okay for engine temp, and I'm doing okay for time. I'm on my time target, but I'm getting a little bit worried about how much temperature I'm building up. I can't afford to really be slowing down on this particular lap. I'm just checking here to see what kind of control options you guys are having to face. Hey, when did I end up on sensitivity 0? Huh, I'm surprised that's not affecting me more. Right before this, I was driving the McLaren MP4X at Le Mans again, because it's 70% fame day, and I always go to sensitivity 0 in that car. Man, if I could, I'd go sensitivity -2, but I'm really surprised it hasn't been affecting me. At any rate, you can't be using any control option that has automatic accelerator. That's because your engine's gonna blow up partway into lap 2 for sure. So here, I like having this guy here because I'm gonna draft off him. And so that tells me that they're calculating this more like I was theorizing, which is basically it's time-based, and that more tuning would give you more speed to get further in the lap in that allotted time. Hope that made sense to you. Okay, I'm doing good engine temp-wise, and I'm doing pretty razor edge time-wise. I don't want to mess around with this guy. I'm going to pass him. That's a really fun overtaking spot. You got to set it up, but that's a really good overtaking spot. And I'm going to be dicey on the time, but actually I think I can slow down. Yep, I can slow down. And there we go. Pretty happy with that. Had to finish in first place. You don't have a choice this time around. Really, there's nothing you can do about it. That's why you need to get your bot management in the earlier stages. All right, well, if you like this video, please press like, please subscribe, and thank you for joining me today.